Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to thank you guys for all of your support and all of the things that you guys have been doing for the Queen. Thank you guys for tuning in on yesterday and not only tuning in on yesterday, but sharing this broadcast. I thank you for helping me bring awareness to the things that are taking place in the state of Texas. Behind walls. So today, y'all, I'm doing it again. Y'all know I can't be quiet. I can't sit down because guess what? I am the change that I desire to see in this world, and I want to encourage you guys to be the change that you desire in this world as well. Y'all, I'm at it again. Today, we're gonna have some amazing individuals that's gonna be coming on and sharing. And yes, I say amazing individuals. I know a lot of people they have their little thoughts in their mind, but these are some amazing individuals because we all make mistakes. Um, and some of these people have really learned from their mistakes and they're trying to make a difference so that somebody else don't make the mistakes that they're made, and then they're trying to bring awareness to the things that they're going through and the things that they have encountered on their journey. So today I have an amazing guy that's going to be sharing his journey with you guys, and hopefully you can get something out of this on today. But if you would please take this chance to share this in your circle of influence. For those that do not know me, that are tuning in for the first time, I am the queen of collaborations known across these social media platforms. My desire is to be the change that I want to see in this world. So I'm going to move out the way and I'm going to allow my guest to introduce himself. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everybody. My name is Carl Brandon Moore. I'm 38 years old. I live in Texas Penitentiary. I've been here since I was 18. And before that, I was in psych hospitals, a few other places. So, yeah, I've been going through it for about 25 years. Maybe even, you could even say 38, I guess.
Wow. So I want you to share, how did you end up there?
Well, I came here when I was young, probably about the age of 9. I started drinking. I'm not blaming my problems on drinking or anything, but I started making bad decisions pretty young. I went through a lot of mental, emotional abuse at the hands of my parents, specifically the woman who raised me until I was about 14. They took me from her when I was about 14. I guess you could say awarded me to my biological father. And, honestly, I had so much trauma from what I went through with the lady that raised me until then that it was hard for me to understand what it was he was trying to do with me, what his wife was trying to do with me. I call her my mom now, just my baby, that's my mom now. But at the time, 14-year-old, you take him from what he's used to and from feeling abandoned and like anybody's ready to give up on him at any moment. And when I found myself using drugs and alcohol to try to soothe the pain of what I was going through, I don't know any of that at the time. I'm just thinking, being drunk is cool, it feels good. Being high is cool, it feels good. Makes me one of the cool kids or whatever. But in reality, a 14-year-old doesn't know that he's running from his problems. And so, fell in with a bad crowd, started making bad choices. A few people that had the things that I thought I wanted, money, cars, shoes, women, falling in with those people and whatever it is they're doing to get to acquire those things. And it led to me making a series of bad choices. And I'm not blaming anybody else for the choices I made, but I made a series of bad choices. I've killed people, I've robbed people, I've hurt people, and so yeah, I'm here right now serving a life sentence, specifically a capital life sentence in Texas. Excuse me one second. I'm sorry, it's countdown. So yeah, I got a capital life sentence. I got to serve 40 before I can come up with parole. So drugs and alcohol are a contributing factor, but in reality, I mean, I can't look at a 14-year-old myself and say, 14-year-olds are responsible for anything they do. I can't look at another 14-year-old and say that, but I feel like drugs and alcohol were just a contributing factor. Man, I had a lot of mental health issues going on, and I wasn't good at making good choices. I was not good at making good choices, man. I guess that's because of some of them. But yeah, specific thing that I did, what I'm here for is I killed somebody during a robbery, and I was convicted. I pled guilty. Yeah. Part of the process of pleading guilty is you have to do what's called an allocution, which means you have to admit to what you did. And if the victim or his family, in my case, are there, they get to give a victim impact statement. And the man had a child that was as old as me, an 18-year-old, and he had a wife, and I have no idea how old she was. But he also had a 2-year-old when I killed him. His daughter was 2, and she was 3 at the time of my allocution. She might have maybe been 4. And in all honesty, this as well, this allocution, hearing this victim impact statement, hearing this 3 or 4-year-old, yelling, screaming at you about killing their daddy is really what affected me deeply enough for me to be able to even be worried about changing, because I was so far gone. I couldn't see past what anybody except for me was going through. And watching this baby, this baby tell me about killing her daddy was probably the hardest thing I've ever been through my entire life.
Wow. Well, you touched on a couple of things that is wow, trauma and dealing with trauma, mental health issues, and then you were a baby yourself, dealing with those things. Technically, um, individuals, and this has been proven here lately, that we still cannot be held truly accountable for a lot of things until we're about 21, because our mind is still developing. So you couldn't rationalize the things that you were going through and dealing with, especially at that young age. Um, what has this journey been like, being incarcerated since you were 18?
Well, yeah, 18 this time, but I spent quite a bit of time in psych hospitals too. And in all honesty, I want to point out that Texas Department of Criminal Justice, they accept money from people who tell people that they're rehabilitating us, and that's simply not true, not even remotely true. When you have a life sentence, they classify you as what's called a G3, like the custody level, and you are housed with other people who have life sentences. And again, we're talking about young people. The part that I lived on, the part that I most often glorify when I'm talking about these times, I've already got 20 done. I haven't been on this pod since 2008, I believe. But when they put me on this pod, it was other 20-year-olds. I think the average age was probably 23 over there. Everybody over here has a life sentence. We're all under the impression we're going to die in prison. And there is absolutely nothing for you to do. They don't allow you to work. The most exciting thing that happens in your day is rec or whatever's on TV. You don't go to school. You're not allowed to do anything. And if you apply for college or anything like that, they tell you that you have too much time and that they want to use those resources on people who are getting ready to go home. And so the first 10 years that you're here is, it's another trauma. You come in here, they cut your hair off. They tell you that you got to wear this number and you got to be just like everybody else and you got to fit in line. They put you on a par with other people who are under the impression that they're pretty sure they're going to die and that everything in the entire world is attacking all their senses, their sense of smell, their hearing, their sight, their feeling. You woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go eat breakfast and it's cold and it's nasty pancakes again. Your entire being, everything that you ever wanted to be growing up or anything, is being crushed for at least 10 years. And you're very young. Like I said, I was 19 when I actually made it to this place. I was 19 years old, being around other people who are helpless and hopeless and we have nothing. And you're fighting for the little bit you do have left. You're in fear for your butt. I don't know if that's appropriate to say on this. I'm sorry if it isn't, but you're in fear for your butt. You don't have any idea what's going on with your family or your little sisters. And there's no way for you to make money. And you can't ask anybody for soap or deodorant or toothpaste because then you'll owe them. And you don't want to owe anybody anything. Everything is just you against the world is what it feels like. That's not true. But the way that it's set up is it crushes any hope that you do have. And so you kind of just give in and you decide to do whatever everybody else in the penitentiary is doing. And, you may find yourself walking around with a knife or anything else you need to protect yourself because you're in fear. Your mind it's basically you get put into a mode of PTSD after a while, the same way that if you go into a war zone and everybody's trying to kill you, everybody's your enemy. That's how you feel when you get put here, even though everybody else is thinking the same thing. Everybody else is a fearful little kid that's in fear for their life. and pretty sure everybody else is trying to kill them, but really we're all just trying to protect ourselves. And the state of Texas doesn't do anything at all, or wasn't anyway doing anything to try to help you understand that nobody's actually trying to kill you. Everybody's just trying to survive. You know, it's I mean, I cannot put into words how traumatic it is. Again, for the little kids that are going through this, you have people coming in here that are 14, 15, getting convicted and getting tried as adults and being put in the same situation I was when I was 18, 19. You know, I'm trained in fighting. I know how to fight. I've been fighting since I was 9 years old. So I wasn't really as scared as a lot of these people are who come here and they have, in their mind, there's no hope for them. You know what I mean? They're going to belong to somebody when they come here. And Texas, they accept money to rehabilitate people, but in reality, what they're doing is making it worse for a lot of people's lives.
So they accept money to rehabilitate, but they're not rehabilitating.
They're not even attempting to, in reality.
Wow. So what is are you brought up the mental health issue? So are there any type of mental health wellness programs, anything to help with your mental health outside of pills? Because they always, that seems to be the thing that everybody wants. Keep you drugged.
Yeah. Well, no, there's not. They have a psych program here. I hesitate to call it that because, like I said, I've spent time in actual psych hospitals, and the lady that I call my mother now actually worked at the state hospital in San Antonio. And the programs there that are trying to get you better, they mildly work. They help people, but what they have here is somebody you go to and you talk to them when you feel bad, and they'll print out a sheet of exercises for you to do. You know what I mean? Like the bird dogs and leg lifts and stuff like that. And when you feel bad, I mean, it's really shenanigans. But I do want to point out that in the chapel here, specifically the volunteers, they've brought a few programs that in reality, these programs are helping, but there's no way for them to reach enough people. You're talking about, like, I actually help teach or facilitate one of them. It's called passion and integrity training. And so we teach people about these kinds of issues, mental and emotional health, and even physical stuff. I don't get too much into spiritual stuff. I'm a Muslim myself, but I don't feel like spirituality is the first thing you need to be teaching somebody who's in fear for their life right now. Or just chunk it up to God. No, here's what you're going through. This is what you're going through. Your brain formed like this in the womb, and as you're growing and developing, your brain adds other layers. And there are things that happen to you before you had language that you don't realize. This is why your body reacts in this way. And so when your body reacts in this way, think about this and how does your body feel, and can you make it feel another way? And so there are classes that are happening, but TDC isn't financing those classes. TDC is not making it happen. This is all through the volunteers who come and help us, man. Without, I'm being just honest with you, without the help of the volunteers, I'd probably still be lost. It wasn't until about 2015 that I came in contact with these people, and it was an enormous help in my life. These people, for free, take time away from their friends and their family and their life and their money-making opportunities to come and try to help people that are all the way lost. I mean, all the way lost.
Wow. So what is your desire to see within Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
Wow, that's... I'm not sure I have enough time to talk about all that. If I could see anything, honestly, the biggest change I've seen come to TDC has been the field ministers, the peer educators, and the life coaches. Because you have people that are going through what you're going through, that have been through what you've been through, and most of the time they've done a lot of time already, and can try to help the younger people go through it. Classes like compassion and integrity training, neuro-linguistic programming, critical thinking, that help you realize that the way you're thinking is not right. It's not the world's against you and everybody's trying to get you. The way I perceive the world is what's wrong. And I can get better in and of myself. I don't necessarily need pills or, therapy is helpful in all honesty, but I don't necessarily need pills or to be locked up for the rest of my life to control what I have going on. And I can think just things that help people realize how they're wrong instead of looking at it like they're being persecuted. Because again, this place, it makes it easy for you to feel like you're being under attack 24/7.
So going back to the first 10 years, how did you get through that?
Man, I'm not scared to fight. Everybody saw that off the rip. I'm a little dude. I'm 5'6". reality comes. And I had a lot of people around me who just thought I was a cool cat and took me under the wing and let me kick it with them. And it turned out, without me even realizing that everybody that I kicked it with was Muslim. And they're just, for them, it's like a big family. It's kind of like, you go from being a gang member to being in a group of people who actually care about you for you, not for what you can do for them. That was a big part of my transformation before I started realizing how wrong I was thinking and feeling about what was going on around me. But just knowing that there were people that genuinely cared about me, that was an enormous thing. My family wasn't able to support me the first few years I was down here. In all honesty, they didn't really come around. So it's been like the last 10 years, and the phone situation helped enormously. But that didn't happen until 2019. The first few years I was down here, I didn't get any mail. Didn't know how anybody was doing. My biological mom abandoned me and told my sisters and my stepfather that I didn't want to talk to them. She's going through psychological issues too. I don't want to make anything out of a bad person. She's going through stuff too. But it was really the support of other inmates around me. But they were trying to. Everybody's in there trying. They're doing the best they can. Nobody. I want to be a jerk.
Wow.
And then when they're like, okay, what's the safest?
Wow.
For show of force.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I made it.
Wow. I mean, you definitely have strength to endure, because you're 19 and you're 38 now, so you're and you sound you sound positive. You so how could what can you tell somebody that may be going down the wrong road right now, that this is not what you want?
Wow. What we learn in compassion and integrity is that you have to learn about yourself first. And so what I like to say is you sit back and think about how would you feel if somebody was doing this to you. If you're thinking about taking somebody else's commissary or anything else that you can take from another man or woman, ask yourself, how would I feel in that moment if somebody was doing it to me? And that's really what happened with me with that 3-year-old, is when she's talking about me taking her daddy from her. I felt that because I remember being young and being helpless and all the stuff I was going through when I was a child, under my caretaker and all the physical and emotional stuff she put me through. And how the only thing I could think of that whole time was get back to my daddy. And I took that from her, and it devastated me. And that's what helped me get better. So anytime I've thought about what I can do to this person or whatever, because I can fight a little bit and I know they can and they're weak and all this other stuff, I sit back and think, well, yeah, but how would I feel if I couldn't fight? If I was weak? You know what I mean? If I was in health trouble, or if I was, any of the other labels that we put on somebody to justify why we treat them the way we treat them. And I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't want anybody doing that to my little brother, who maybe isn't as strong as I am and maybe didn't fight as well as I did. I wouldn't want anybody doing that to my sister or my mom or my dad. My dad's an old man now. I wouldn't want him coming to penitentiary and somebody handling him. And then even extend that to the world. I'm out there in the world and I don't have something to eat. Let me go rob this grocery store real quick and I'll have some money. Yeah, but what about the person you put in the gun from? You know what I mean? What if they act up and you feel like you have to shoot them? And their son or their daughter gets a call that, hey, mommy died at work today. You know what I mean? You got to put yourself in other people's shoes at all times to understand, well, maybe this ain't the best thing. I wouldn't want anybody doing this to me to put me in this situation. Let me not do this to anybody else. We call it the golden rule. It's a technical term for do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do not do unto others as you would not have others do unto you. And then treat people how they want to be treated.
Wow. If you could talk to the people that have the power, the governor, the Congress people, the lawmakers, what would be your message to them on today?
I would say that y'all are rehabilitating us. That's not true. In America, when you accept money for something, you don't do it. That's called fraud. You get locked up for it. I would also say that there are people down here who are actively changing. They're trying to become better people, not because you gave us all this time but because at some point you realize I'm not right. My life sentence didn't make me change my mind. It was the people around me that are coming and showing me they care about me that made me change my mind. If I had 5 years or 500, I literally thought I was going to die here. I didn't think I was going to make it past 21 years old. But and at that point I was hopeless and helpless, but it was the people around me that showed me that they care about me as an individual that made me change. And there are people down here changing every day for the better. But it's not going to ever reflect on them a get better because they have, all right, because I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. That people are down here trying to get better. People are down here getting better. And it's not because of anything that TDC is doing, but the volunteers are helping us. And in all honesty, the volunteers, field ministers, peer educators, life coaches, the people are down here in the thick of it instead of sitting on their thrones and pointing fingers at people. These are the ones that are helping us. And that it's the responsibility of the people who are accepting money to make us better. It's their responsibility to help us be better, man. They're not helping anybody be better. They're housing us. They're getting all this money, $6.585 billion for every 2 years to sit us in here and use us. And it's basically like we're slaves again. We're the cash crop now. They don't grow turnips anymore. They grow people. They lock up little black and brown kids, a few white folks. They put us in here for life, and they get money off of us being here on these plantations, on these farms. And that's not right. That's not good Christian values. That's not good Muslim values. There is no value on the planet that says it's good to just put somebody in the house and get money off of them for that. There's no set of values on the planet that values that. That's what I would say to me.
Well, it's known that the state of Texas does not believe in rehabilitation. For those that know, I am not in the state of Texas. I am in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and that is just something that is known. You can pretty much Google the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and just investigate some of the things that they do and what they stand on. Rehabilitation is not one of the things that they believe in. So of course, all they're doing is housing. They get a percentage. They get a certain amount of money for each bed that they fill, and that's a lot of states. They don't even pay the workers that do go out and work. And it's
I've worked for 10 years and can't afford a deodorant or toothpaste.
And it's sad. So what is your message to those that are tuned in today that may be able to they may be able to assist in some type of way, whether it's writing a letter or whatever it is? What is your message to them and your hope for someone that may hear this on today?
Well, there are good people locked up. There are good people who made bad decisions, extremely bad decisions. Some of us made those decisions over and over. And it wasn't from a place of malice. It was from a place of hurt, a place of feeling lost, like nobody cares about you. At least in my situation, and I can say the same about other people. I found myself doing bad things to please people that I thought cared about me. And when my family started putting on for me, when I started realizing there were people outside of this place that care about me, it changed my whole attitude. It changed my whole life. Where I wasn't focused on this tiny place and scrabbling for $1 or $2 or soap or deodorant, toothpaste, and willing to kill somebody behind that or fight somebody behind it. It made me realize that there's something bigger than me. There are other people out there who actually care about me. I mean, it's bringing me to tears thinking about all these people that I've met through the chapel over the years, these volunteers over the years who genuinely care about me, who genuinely care about Carl Brandon Moore. Not the thought of me, not you're a person, so I care about you as a person. Genuinely care about me, and you can make that difference in somebody's life. You may not be able to change the entire world, but you can change one person's entire world by caring about that person, genuinely caring about that person, what they need, what they're going through. And again, the volunteers, I mean, I cannot say enough about that, how much the volunteers have made a difference in my life, and I see making a difference in lots of people's lives. But you're talking about being able to be down here 1 or 2 hours a week, you can't ask one person to be here 7 days a week, 6 days a week, or even 3 or 4 days a week. That's up to tall order for any one person. So anybody that has the ability to volunteer, and it may not seem like a big deal. You know what I mean? I know one person. All she ever does is tell me hi and give me a report because for that, she doesn't know me from anybody else. But she smiles at me. Her smile lights up my world. She gives me a hug. I feel good for a few minutes, and I take that with me through the whole week. So even if that's all you're able to do for anybody, you have no idea how much you, the person listening right now, you have no idea how much you can change them with anything else.
Wow, that's powerful. Well, I definitely want to thank you for stopping by and sharing with me on today. I always ask my guests to leave a word of encouragement with those that are tuned in. So, what's
Okay,
your
well, thank you for
encouraging
having me.
word for today?
Say encouraging word. I would say that the last thing we just said, you can make a difference in somebody's life by actually caring about them, showing them that you care. It's one thing to care. I always have people tell me they've been praying for me the last 3 or 4 years since I've heard from them. But showing somebody you care, writing them in any way. It doesn't even have to be somebody in prison. It'd be nice for it to be somebody in prison, but somebody on the street. Somebody you don't know. Hey man, I care about you as an individual, man. You need help with something. How can I help you? Just be willing to help. Look past the exterior, look past the labels, and see the person. That's the exact same person as you on the inside. Somebody who just wants to be loved and is scared of being abandoned. That's it.
So, if someone wanted to contact you or check you out, how could they do that?
Well, they can write me. My number is 1263-264. The address is 899 FM 632, Kennedy, Texas. Kennedy with one N, TX 78119. And we also have tablets now. They gave us tablets about 3 or 4 months ago. And so in order to get in contact with me, they'd have to go through securus.net, SECDRUS Tech, TECK or TECH.net. I'm on the caller unit, and my SID number, versus what they would need to email me, is 0718-4666.
Well, again, I want to thank you for stopping by, and you stay encouraged and you keep being a difference behind walls, because you're definitely making a difference.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
You never know what impact you can have on someone's life. Even from behind prison walls, they are trying to make a difference. Um, Again, they just won't change. They just want to be the change that they desire to see in this world. They realize that they have made mistakes and they are paying for their mistakes. But how much do you have to suffer? How much do you have to go through to pay for your mistake? Some of these people have been wrongfully incarcerated, overly incarcerated, and the state of Texas have deliberately put some of these people behind prison walls without the proper procedures being followed. But this wasn't his case. He did what he did. But must he be treated unhumane because he made a mistake? He was young. He wasn't even, he was 18. And scientifically, it has been proven that these babies still, that their judgment are off until they're about 21. They can't rationalize what's really right and what's really wrong. For 10 years, he struggled. The state of Texas has failed their citizens, and there's something need to be done about it. So we're urging the state of Texas to own up and be accountable for that they have done. We're calling for the governor, the Congress people, the legislators, and all these laws that you have in place, and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You don't honor the laws that's in place. Honor what you have in place. I am the queen, and I'm going to keep sharing their stories. Y'all share this with somebody in your circle.